Ban.
Hello and welcome back, folks, to the Netolic Raid Call Pro League East Division Day 1 of playoffs. We are playing the Losers Bracket Round 1, and this game will be between TnC, who placed a very respectable second in the Group D, and actually gave Vici Gaming, one of the favorites in the tournament, quite a run for their money in one of the best games that we had in the group stage. They will be going up against First Departure, who actually we saw just yesterday going up through the East Division Group C tiebreakers. They did put together a commanding enough performance that they made it through. They got second. It was a tough situation for them to actually get that, but the fact that they did means that they get another shot. But of course, starting out in the losers bracket is no easy journey. They will have to play at least 2 rounds worth of best of ones to actually get on comfortable footing. So whichever team loses here will be out of the tournament as of today. So already some high stakes games going on. Both these are excellent teams. You are watching the official English stream. I am your English language caster, Vikrmond. My co-caster El Presidente is also here. You want to say hi?
Hello.
All right. Couple quick PSAs. Raid Call is our official sponsor for this tournament. You can check them out, raidcall.com. Raid Call channel 2013, 2013, like the year, is having giveaways and prizes and discussions pretty much all the way through the tournament, so that's something you might want to check out as well. If you are watching on Twitch TV, of course, it's /NETOLIC TV. If you are watching on Twitch TV, or if you've been using my camera controls, you did not get what you paid for in that last game. My camera controls were absolutely horrid, so I will endeavor to do a lot better this game, folks. I do apologize for that. Going up into the draft, TnC actually using their first pick to secure Nyx Assassin, while FD go for Darkseer, who we haven't actually seen first picked that much lately, as well as the Shadow Demon. What do you have to say about this draft so far, Alprez?
Honestly, I think it's weird, to be honest, because when we look at the TNC's ban, they ban on straight up Lifestealer and Lone Druid, so they went for the 2 most popular carries of this tournament. So that doesn't leave too many very big ones left in the pool. You get Gyrocopter still. Cuddle's actually still in the pool as well, so that's actually really interesting. So I wouldn't be surprised to see
Assassin and Keeper of the Light.
And that would be a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah.
First Departure would need to pick Bane.
We might actually, if they don't want Keeper of the Light, or if it doesn't fit into their overarching strategy, he might actually slip through. I think for FD might not take him either against the Knicks. Okay,
No.
Alright, so TnC just took him. I was going to say that if TnC don't take him, I'm not sure he'll actually make it in. Oh, there we go. There we go.
I don't know how I feel about this Phantom Lancer pickup against the Shadow Demon and the Darkseer.
Yeah, I mean, FD definitely picked a we dare you to take Phantom Lancer because we know exactly what to do against you approach. And adding on the Tinker gives them even more ability to turtle up. They've got, of course, that March of the Machines, and quite a bit of counter push as well once that Tinker does get that boots of travel up and start moving around the map. So Tinker, a hero that despite his relative popularity in Southeast Asia, we actually have not seen that much in this tournament. He's copped quite a few second phase bans, and teams have been a little leery about picking him. But here we go. I like seeing Tinker, even though he does change the dynamic of the game quite a bit. But he's interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how FD actually use him.
Yeah, I'm completely in agreement with this. Tinker is a really interesting hero. For the fact that First Departure instantly picked him as soon as their 3rd pick came up meant that they really weren't concerned about dealing with any potential enemy carries in this early set. They just want to pick strong, well-rounded heroes for the most part, and they got that Shadow Demon Darkseer, and to an extent with Tinker. Tinker is a very strong solo mid player, hero in general, and he also has that fantastic split pushing ability. In the early and mid games, he'll actually do very well against the Phantom Lancer because the March of the Machines just does so much damage. However, he will have a nightmare on his hands in the late game with Phantom Lancer. Luckily, they do have a Shadow Demon to back himself up on. The laning phase, though, is going to be tough against TnC, just because Nyx, Keeper, and Phantom Lancer as a tri-lane is devastating.
Definitely. And TnC, meanwhile, taking out good #1 candidates for FD. So the Anti-Mage gets taken out. The Gyrocopter, I expect them to actually ban another carry hero. And I do want to say that this with this game, we do see the return of Miracle to his team first departure. He has been acting as a... he was playing as a stand-in for Zenith, actually, for the last few G1 League games. But now that Zenith have actually, I think, been either eliminated or... No, they haven't been eliminated just yet, but
they're competing for one spot with
they're
LGD,
competing for one spot. Right.
INTS, and DK.
Right, but his schedule has freed up enough. He wasn't able to make their tiebreaker matches, so it would have been a shame if they hadn't made it through, but he is able to make this match, so Miracle back for the playoffs. I can't remember if tonight is their 6th man or typically a stand-in, because I know Peloson plays their mid for them a lot. And Hana was filling in as #1 while Miracle was out.
That said, I'm looking at what first departure going to pick up as their last carry, and I'm hoping it's Medusa, just because I haven't got to see Medusa played at all.
Just because Gyrocopter's gone and they don't have a good cleave candidate, I guess, is what you're saying?
There's
they
that.
Could get Sven or Tiny or something.
Tiny is, I think, better than Sven against Phantom Lancer, to be honest.
Sure. Well, both of them can be good. I mean, Tiny deals with PL much better later. Good pickup of the Rubik, by the way. The fact that Rubik actually didn't get banned out means that TnC score pretty good. Another support. This, of course, does mean that either the Rubik or the Nyx Assassin will have to be sent up into the middle. I'm suspecting, I guess, the Nyx, but March of the Machine is going to put a lot of pressure on the Nyx Assassin, even if he level spiked Carapace, which is interesting. But on the flip side, Mana Burn, amazing against Tinker. Like, fantastic against Tinker.
Absolutely. Tinker does have a very high int growth for the most part.
High int growth and needs his mana so bad. Like, if you happen to be standing at the point that Tinker Boots of travels in Vendetta, that Tinker's in trouble.
Also to keep in mind for Tinker is that Rockets is probably one of the easiest spells in the game to bounce back with the Spike Carapace.
Sure.
Up there with Illuminate.
And March. I mean, March and Rockets are both very spiked Carapaceable. And they're all high mana cost abilities. Like, Tinker needs every ounce of his high int growth to actually have... It's not a matter of mana regen, because of course... Okay, so yeah, they go for the Tiny. I thought they might go for the Tiny, so...
I'm hoping a Wisp pick, but...
So the question is, will they actually go the Lanham, eHome, IO Tiny that we haven't really seen that much in a long time, and definitely haven't seen from the Asian scene since TI2?
Yeah.
They could.
I guess that's
it's open. They have another support slot.
Yeah, that was really one of the highlights from TI2. Wisp Tiny shows up and outcarries Morphling, who was, for the most part, pretty much undefeated in TI2.
Not undefeated, but...
Defeated once or twice, but really it's the Tiny managed to outcarry Morphling, and no one saw that coming.
Absolutely. No, it was a huge game, definitely. And so the question is here, we have actually seen this Tiny versus PL before. Tiny does have a big, wide cleave radius and an amazing attack damage, so he's got the tools he wants. Queen of Pain coming out from TnC. Actually, solo, safe, quap, and aggressive tri-lane? There we go, the IO. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm feeling good. Predicted these drafts. A+.
A+ against first departure. We got like a C- on TnC.
Yeah, this is... Well, no. I mean, we knew about the Keeper of the Light, actually.
Yeah, we call it Keeper of Light, but Phantom Lancer we didn't see coming.
Oh, well, no, I would have gotten to it. PL he was clearly still in. First Departure did, like, clearly attempt to dissuade them from picking the PL, like, with this Shadow Demon Darkseer. But afterwards, they just doubled down on the anti-PL, and frankly, I feel like they have the tools to deal with the Phantom Lancer at any point in the game. Like, I really do think they can pretty much keep him down.
Yeah, the real problem is when you get to the late game, you do have the issue where Phantom Lancer will start killing his own team because Shadow Demon's on the map.
Sure, and Darkseer.
And Darkseer, so I'm pretty sure that's 2 Phantom Lancer armies, and if Rubik steals a wall or something ridiculous, we can get like 4 Phantom Lancer armies just duking it out.
Yep. Alright, I'm gonna go, let's go ahead and introduce the teams. I'll introduce TnC. TnC, they took second in Group D, like I said. They had a fantastic game with VG that you should definitely watch the VOD of. They are smoking up, so we will see a 5-man fight from them. I'm still not 100% certain what their lanes are going to be, although I suspect solo lane Queen of Pain. But Bonjourlet will be playing in the mid on the Quap. We saw him on, I think, Tinker recently as well. And Aaron on the Rubik, No Fear on the Nyx Assassin. Lodok taking up that #1 role as the Phantom Lancer. Saw him do some good #1 play as well. And Tushi on the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, on first departure, we got Miracle playing that Tiny. Dog will be playing Io the Wisp. Hannah will be solo midding on the Tinker. We're seeing Lovey supporting as well in the Shadow Demon. And in this offlane, we're seeing Scripted playing the Darkseer.
Pretty standard lanes coming out from FD, really. And with this lineup, you do have a fairly standard approach. But that Tiny Io, that's the big thing. Will they be able to actually get around the map as they need to? The thing about first departure is I feel they actually don't need to gank that much. And if they do, let's hope that they're successful ganks. Because if they just move around the map and just get the Tiny killed a lot, then they won't have the scaling that they'll actually need to overwhelm. To see Dog gets caught out. Here it comes. The first blood. Triple Impale. Illuminate only hits one. Good disruption defensively, but it looks like Dog will get picked off. And that's at least one. Will they get more? So Aaron, he does have the telekinesis in about 4 seconds. Illuminate gets thrown out. Lubby's taking a ton of damage. Will they get the lift? The Impale doesn't hit. They do hit Miracle with it. Aaron will do the telekinesis, but I think they have to peel off here and just be satisfied with the fact they got first blood. Yes. So Lubby escapes. 2 deaths early on, but definitely have been a lot more painful than 1. And so TnC, they secure themselves a first blood, but not too much more than that.
Double damage.
Yeah, absolutely. We are seeing actually a very offensive lane coming out of TnC as well, and that's actually really dangerous for... and some nice dewarding coming out immediately.
Nice. Yeah, TnC definitely want to secure this early game for themselves, and this is smart, I think, actually. This tri-lane is stronger than the tri-lane they're facing. I mean, SDIO is not going to kill you.
Really, worst case situation, IO is thrown at you, and then that's the tether's done.
Right. Under attack.
And that's opening with toss. That's not something Tiny's usually like doing.
Sure.
So... yeah, it's not a very aggressive win. It's not like CK Wisp where they're looking to get kills in lane. Wisp Tiny is more keeping Tiny safe until he gets enough levels and items to really win outright.
Yeah. No, I mean, Miracle will try to find his farm here. I don't think it'll be... like, he will be able to find last hits. I don't think it'll be totally bleak, but they are going to put a ton of pressures, and they're going to try to layer more and more on as well. No Fear, you can see level 2 already picking up that rank of that mana burn. Fortunately, right now, his mana isn't really enough to sustain this on Hana, but he is going to have it the Bottle Crow coming over. And Bonjourlet actually not having the easiest time here down here as the Queen of Pain as well, because there's just massive creep cutting going on from Scripted. Oh, I missed a kill up here. Miracle actually with a ton of damage on him, but unfortunately TnC aren't able to find the kill. And Lubby and Dog are doing good damage. Actually, Aaron copping each hit of the spirits. They might be able to pick him off with the extra movement speed. Yes, it's 2 kills, so they turn it around. First departure, and actually Lone Doc having to flee. He's quite low as well. Probably popping off that healing salve. Yeah. An overreach by TnC, no question about it.
Yeah, I'm actually completely astonished that Miracle is still alive at this moment, because he not only lost his salve, but it got broken, and he was only left with like 20 health left. So that was just a fantastic disruption coming out from Lubby, defensive disruption. And with that, it gets him his level 3, so his Avalanche Toss combo will start to hurt quite a bit more than it did, like 3 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of the Avalanche Toss combo. Are we going to see someone? No.
Oh, wow. First departure feeling good about their lane chances. Actually, Avalanche comes out. Lone Doc in a bit of trouble. He does doppelwalk. I don't think they have detection. And a big Illuminate on the other side. Miracle actually taking a lot of damage. They went a little too deep there, I think. Are they out of health regen? No, they've got some tangos. They can sort of tango across. And meanwhile, in the bottom, Queen of Pain, really good work by Bonjourlet. They're actually finding out the creep cutter over here. Scripted, trying to just be a little too clever with the jungle camps and the creep camps. And as a result, Bonjourlet puts himself on the board. Actually 2-0 considering he picked up, I think, what was the first blood.
Yeah, that's definitely a big win for first departure.
Yeah, I mean, not the easiest lane for Quap in the first place. But he's actually a level ahead of Darkseer.
Yeah, just a little bit slightly. In the mid matchup, we're seeing Hannah actually doing quite well against No Fear.
Is under attack.
Yeah, they're about even in terms of creep kills.
Yeah, so that's always very very nice for him. Hannah's been rune controlling a little bit better if the bottle means anything. So
Right.
that's always something. And the March is just such a nightmare to deal with as really any hero.
Anybody, yeah. You can stun them,
Radiant's
but
bottom
the
tower
stun doesn't
is
actually
under
mean
attack.
that much if you can't capitalize.
You keep the light.
It's really just because universal damage is really weird and no one likes doing it. But this is actually an interesting build. It's lasers and March instead of the usual rocket March. So
Well,
Sure.
I like this. Laser is pure, and it will give mischance. So, I don't know, especially against Nyx Assassin, I think this is way better. You can use the laser to harass quite a bit, because it's not that easy to spike Carapace out.
Radiant's
This is
It's
bottom
just
for-
scripted. He's low again. I don't know about this creep cutting. Like, I feel like he's putting himself in a ton of danger here. He could easily have this taken advantage of by Bonjour again. I mean, they need vision, which they don't have, so. But even just a lucky guess would
This
be
will fix me right up.
scripted. Trying to deny the rune here, but it's actually already taken, and it was at top. Lubby, just trying to manage this lane here for first departure, and honestly, those 2 kills completely changed the dynamic of this lane. Phantom Lance are still farming. Like Lone Dock is still actually farming a little better than Miracle is, but Miracle's doing okay. And does he have a kill on the board? I think he has a. No, he was
Nah,
just
he
part
has
of
an
1
assist.
assist. Actually, not even part of 2 assists. Interesting.
yeah, he didn't actually put up. I guess he wasn't didn't do enough to Aaron
Right.
within the time frame to be counted as an assist.
Yeah,
So he didn't get any gold for that kill on Aaron.
right. That's too bad. Buncher Lake, kind of low, but you do see him playing around here. He's probably going to make his Ring of Baz, I guess. I like this Ring of Prot, actually, just to make sure that Scripted isn't able to effectively harass him. And good job of getting down the Ion Shell targets as quickly as possible to make sure that they're not actually going to harass him too badly. Scripted, actually, popping off the haste, just to, I think, annoy Buncher Lake, because he's not really going to die to it, but... and Hana marching in the middle, so... at this point, sort of a battle of attrition in each lane. Each player sort of trying to not necessarily go for a kill, but just really get that regen down, get the other player to a point where then you can strike the death blow. So, I mean, Bojole actually had to retreat to the fountain. So, even though he's ahead on creep kills, I know he's actually behind on creep kills. Even though he was ahead on XP, this will equalize it because he's had to walk the long path home.
Absolutely, and that's actually a really big problem for TnC to be having your Queen Paint heading back to base. He does or pick up a TP, so that does mean that we could be seeing some action coming up on top from Lei.
And this, I think he has to. Oh no, he's going back to the bottom. I feel like the aggressive try after the first blood has gone quite badly. I mean, they lost 2 kills, and let's take a look at the levels. 1 level for first departure on every single person in the tri lane, vis-a-vis TnC. So Miracle is actually almost level 6, so basically 2 levels ahead of where Lone Dock is. And Dog has about a full level on, who's on the Rubik? Yeah, has about a full level on Aaron, and I think Tushy is a full level. No, he's actually almost level 4, so Tushy's doing a little better relative to Lubby, but still, I mean, they're substantially behind on XP in this lane. This is a problem. Queen of Pain is ahead of Darkseer, but still.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
No Fear coming in. He's got a haste rune. He wants to make something happen here, but first departure are really just right under the tower, so it's tough to actually find that kill. Ping coming out. Oh, they saw him. He walked over the sentry ward.
Radiant's
Not
middle
good for
tower
if you're
is under
TnC.
attack.
They don't know either. They think first departure are just being weird and cagey, but first departure know exactly what's going on here, and this haste rune pretty much wasted.
We're actually seeing Miracle do some bottle crumbing, it looks like, on this Tiny.
Smart, honestly. He needs the extra mana. He's using Avalanche to play Keep Away with Lone Dock. And he obviously doesn't have a Chakra, unlike Lone Dock, so he needs some way of equalizing that mana situation.
Yeah, I completely agree. The mana is really Tiny's biggest weakness in this early stages, just because his spells are so expensive and he has so low mana.
And they don't have anybody else that really needs to Bottle Crow, because Tinker's had good rune control. Like, he needs to Bottle Crow sometimes, but it doesn't need to be 100% of the time. And Darkseer obviously is not a Bottle Crow here.
Luckily, once Tinker gets his Boots of Travel, which is...
He will
not
have a free
coming.
bottle
He has-
recharge whenever the heck he feels like it.
Yeah, he does pick up his Soul Ring first.
Yeah, he's taking the Soul Ring. So that'll be a little bit of delayed Boots of Travel, but it will give him more mana in a lane where he won't be certain that the bottle will always be coming to him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, will the courier get spotted out here? No, it doesn't. No Fear doesn't see it. They're going to try to get a gank on Hana, it looks like. He is up in the Vendetta form. No, his Vendetta runs out. So No Fear just still not really able to get that much done here just yet. His only participation in fights has been his assist on the First Blood. So Bonjour Lay and No Fear just sort of both wasting time here, but he does manage to get the DD rune, so that's something.
Actually seeing some really interesting micro coming out of Lone Doc. He actually sent his illusions to pull back the camp that was being pulled from First Departure. Just a little bit of micro free back row onto his illusions and bring that back to lane.
Right.
And it was something that was being pulled by Miracle and his toss, just because that's a little cheesy.
Here we go. Disruption. They will get the Wisp stun. Here comes Avalanche. And Lone Doc in a lot of trouble here. The toss actually only in place. That left toss was not very successful. But he does get picked off. Lubby with the last hit. Nice. The Sentry Ward. Good placement here from First Departure. And oh no, Lone Doc now with a death on the board. He's building towards his drums, but this tri-lane has just not gone the way they wanted at all. What level is, we do see Dog actually up in level 5. Lubby, he's in level 5 as well. And Miracle, now level 7. Phase Boots, and he has up to 31 last hits. Still a little bit behind where Lone Doc is, but they have to feel good about this 3v3 lane, in my opinion. Like, this has gone pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially considering when you talk about Tinies, the first thing that comes to mind is usually 0 base armor. And that is so easy to harass down, it's actually kind of sad.
It's okay. It's not that sad.
It's a little bit sad.
Sure. No Shadow Strike build on Queen of Pain, by the way. 3 in the blank, 4 in the Scream of Pain. The difficult thing about leveling a Queen of Pain is all of her abilities are so good and have such good leveling bonuses that it's like, which of these great abilities... It's definitely a first world hero problem, but it's like, which of these great hero abilities do I actually level up first?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think the passing up on Shadow Strike was a good idea for her lane, though, just because harassing Darkseer isn't very productive.
Right. He gets a
to say
great
the
health
least.
regen.
Hannah might... Oh, Hannah's dead.
Oh, uh-oh. No Fear with the DD rune. This is why he got that blind, by the way, but unfortunately the DD rune enough with that last final impale. And I mean, the rank 1 mana burn doing work, absolutely. It's huge damage against Tinker. And the Spike Carapace will stun him, and so will the Impale. I mean, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is the nice thing about Nyx Assassin. The mana burn has no scaling as far as damage is concerned. It's all going to happen, no matter what. All that damage.
Right. It's just the cooldown and something else, the mana cost, I think.
Mana cost increases, I believe, and the cool... No, sorry, mana cost and cooldown decrease.
Yeah, the mana cost decreases, that's what I thought. So No Fear, finally managing to sort of harass Hana down, and the fact that Hana actually went Soul Ring first and got that death means that his situation will be substantially tougher to actually get that those bits of travel. He will get them, and he'll get them pretty soon, but just any slowdown that you can apply to that is a big deal. The later the Tinker starts this whole death march across all of the lanes, the better you feel about it, I feel like. And yeah, just Lone Doc, 3 levels behind Miracle now. I feel like by the time Lone Doc has this Illusion Army, Miracle will be well equipped to deal with it. And Dog's so close to level 6 as well. They really want to kill him. You saw them ping him out, actually. They really want to get him down, keep him away from that level 6, but I don't know how they can. No Fear, he's going to try to make something happen. He's holding a haste rune. Illuminate only hits on Miracle, so not too much damage there. They do throw out the Lance as well, so they're looking to harass. He actually pops off his toss. Here goes the Impale. That's on 2. He's going to run out, try to kill Dog ASAP. They get him. They get him before he hits... Actually, he did hit level 6 before that. So they do get the kill on Dog. Haste rune is popped off. Miracle going to hide in the trees. And a good kill... Actually, wow, in the bottom, Bonjour Lay picks off Darkseer under the tower again, so a tough game for Scripted, definitely, unfortunately. But Hana, he's at 1739, only needs that little burst of extra to actually pick up his Boots of Travel, and so even though First Departure are getting pounded in each lane, I feel like they're advancing their game plan. Lubby in a little bit of trouble here. If he cops another Illuminate, he's pretty much dead, but... Miracle still doing okay, I feel like. Only 45 last hits, but that's as many as Lone Doc has. He's got his Phase Boots, and he's... I don't know. I feel like we're going to start seeing First Departure turn this around in a serious way once the Tinker hits Boots of Travel and the IO starts TPing around. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe TnC have more of an advantage than I'm giving them credit for.
I completely agree with that comment. For example, Aaron would not be doing this if Wisp was with Tiny. He wouldn't be traveling across because he would get caught out and he would instantly melt.
Right. Right.
There are just things that you wouldn't do once you know that the Wisp is level 6.
Right. Aaron, to be fair, he does have his ultimate, so that's very, very good for Rubik to actually be able to get to level 6 and be able to do that. There aren't any, like, giant teamfight destruction spells, except for maybe Illusory Wall on Departure. But still, there's a lot of extremely useful stuff. And Rubik has picked up very highly, not just because he's good at spell stealing huge teamfight spells, but because he's good at spell stealing just about everything. There's very few spells other than Darkness of Night Stalker that are actually, like, bad to steal on Rubik.
Relocate on Wisp.
Yeah, not even, honestly.
No, it's actually, you can't use it. You don't have tether.
No. You can use it.
Well, you can use it, but that, like, completely neuters
anybody.
the majority of its effectiveness.
Well, yes, it loses the majority of its effectiveness, but it's still not useless. I mean, Rubik relocating to a fight can be a huge deal if he gets off a telekinesis. What I wanted to talk about is Overcharge.
Oh, no, that ability is fantastic, but...
On Rubik?
You want to play Carry Rubik, that is your go-to spell. I don't know what you're talking about.
Carry Rubik, that is your go-to spell, it's true. It's true, it's a good
That's
point.
a 20%
If you want to play
damage.
Rubik, your go-to spell is Lycan Ultimate.
Well, yeah, but, like, your odds of stealing a Lycan Ultimate...
Not too bad.
Well, yeah, but that involves Lycan getting picked.
Lycan's picked, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Lycan's picked, like, once every 15 games or more these days, which is nice. It's nice to see that he's back from the pits of nerf hell.
Yeah, just certain teams play him and certain teams don't. But LGD Int plays him like damn near every game. Actually, a Miracle, a quick dive actually, is diving in, not even using the relocate, just jumping right on top of Bonjour Lay. I'm sorry for missing that kill, but that's a solid kill for them. TnC going to put a bit of pressure on this tower because of course everybody left. So, TnC not feeling too comfortable about defending this tower just yet. They are marshalling the troops. So, Keeper of the Light, we are seeing Tushy come in here. They're just going to clear the way with Miracle and get the heck out. And I think this is the exact correct move because Aaron and Tushy are coming. Sort of summon the cavalry there. The ultimate is up for Tushy, so they could really call someone over here if they need to. No fear of farming well in the middle. We do actually see the Blink Dagger up on that Nyx Assassin. That's a pretty big deal. He's able to have quite a bit of initiation power. We do see Scripted moving towards that mechanism, so he's got Headdress when nobody on TnC really has started that yet. But Bonjour Lay also moving up pretty quickly towards that Orchid. He's actually only about 700 away himself.
Lone Dog is actually doing a little better on farm than Tiny, and that might be because of the tower kill.
Radiant's middle tower
Also,
is under
drums were
attack.
picked up on one, I mean not drums, bottle was picked up on Miracle and not on Lone Dog, so...
Right.
But even with that, Lone Dock does have that Blade of Alacrity versus, you know, not
He's still
much.
a level behind, but he's doing good. He's moving towards his Diffusal. Of course, we do see Hana has begun the Tinker Death March, started to push out all the lades, really put a lot of pressure on the other team. He will start out by going to top, because TnC have 4 players up here, and just Phantom Lancer down here farming the jungle. Little bit of pressure placed out onto the middle lane by Scripted. Not enough to actually get the tower down, but enough to make them sweat a little bit. Pretty good warding from TnC, though. Quite aggressive wards up here. Sorry, pretty good warding by Departure here, I should say. Good defensive wards. I said the opposite of what I meant to say, I'm sorry. And they could counter ward this if they wanted. Actually, we do see a relocate. Miracle and Dog jump right on. Queen of Pain in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to run. Good relocate there. Quick pick off on Tushy, but they have to actually clear out because Nyx Assassin, no fear's coming in. He gets the... Oh no, Miracle's in a lot of trouble. A Dog not able to teleport back. He had 1 second left. It's like a hard-boiled detective novel where the guy was on his last job and unfortunately he died. Oh, Dog. Poor Dog.
Yes. Poor Dog. Definitely wish he bought an extra bracer, I guess.
Sure.
But that was a lot of abilities popped just to take care of one Wisp.
Well, they thought that they could also... They thought they wouldn't just get the IO, that because Miracle
Yeah,
would TP back, they'd get him too.
They thought they would grab Miracle, but just good movement from Miracle, and that's a lot of things popped off, and all they really got to show for it was a Wisp kill.
Sure, I mean, they used Sonic Wave, Vendetta, a lot of stuff to... And they just killed... Yeah, you're right, they just picked off the IO. I don't know what a Wisp is, but I assume you meant IO.
I don't know. It's still Wisp in my book.
Well, yeah, fix that sooner or later.
Its team name is its official name is Io the Guardian Wisp.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna pay attention to its official name. Just like nobody knows that Nature's Prophet is Tequoia the Nature's Prophet.
No,
Gank coming in mid. We do have a
Very
smoke gank.
upset.
Here comes the blink. They're going to pick off Hana, I think. quick mana burn, but actually Dog here to support. And actually Hana might be okay. The toss stolen from Rubik. Oh, good play. Fade Bolt, toss. Just that backup damage coming out from TnC, and they can marshal a lot of resources if they so desire. Dog did his best to try to help there, but it wasn't enough, and the tier 1 tower probably going to be picked off for TnC as well. So departure strat, first departure strat, still not quite gelling as much as they'd want to, I feel. They're getting there. They have a smoke up on Lubby here, but unfortunately, he doesn't manage to quite catch Lone Duck. Lone Duck has moved to the other lane. And this Phantom Lancer starting to get some free farm on the side, accelerating quite a bit past where Miracle is, and they can't be feeling too good about this.
Yeah, this is really one of the problems with Phantom Lancer as a whole. Even without the cuddle, if you leave him alone, he will not only get loads of farm, but he will actually push in every tower you hold dear. Sure. And that's just because his illusions can tank it up for the regular...
Another blink. That blink, this Nyx Assassin mid, just paying off so well for them so far. It puts so much pressure. Actually, Miracle and Dog are here, but an immediate Sonic Wave, but it's actually not enough. Somehow Dog is still alive, and Miracle is hasted, chasing out Tushy. 2 kills so far. The big core hero is taking down. Excellent Vacuum. Avalanche did actually hit, I'm not sure, but Toss will be enough to take down Tushy. A double kill from Miracle, and an absolutely excellent relocate from IO coming out there.
Absolutely, that's going to be a very big change, really, here. It does give Miracle an additional 2200 gold. He's still quite a bit behind Lone Dock, which isn't ideal.
Critical kills.
He dropped the Endurance Drum so you could get more mana from the bottle. Very smart play. And this probably comes down for first departure just a little bit because they really don't have that many towers on the map compared to what really TnC have.
No Fear is back. Nice and pale. There's no mana left on Scripted. No mana to mech. No mana to haste. Oh, did they massively overextend here? Miracle manages to get out, and actually, because they focused everything on Miracle, Scripted now has the mana to haste just before he gets Orchided. He's actually going to make it out, I think. Lubby, good defensive disruption, really helping out his buddy. Probably means Lubby will die, but they protect a more important hero, so Lubby taking one for the team there.
Yeah, definitely less than ideal for... Oh, Hannah picks up a Blink Dagger, so we are seeing hiding in trees. You
that
can't
makes him
catch
much tougher
me.
to pick off with that Nyx Assassin now. Keep in mind, No Fear does have Blink, so it might end up being something of a cat and mouse game, as it were, where he tries to figure out in which direction Hana blinked after his music.
Ultimately, the problem is, if he uses the rearm again...
Yes, he can rearm Blink, but No Fear can kill him within a stun right now. Like, No Fear is pretty dangerous. We should probably do the math on that later, just in case. But for I don't
now,
mean, like, completely kill him, but kill him before the rearm finishes, at least.
level 2 rearm is so expensive, though.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah.
Like,
Really
250 is nothing to scoff at, especially for Tinker, whose mana pool isn't exactly that huge considering the cost of his spells.
Sure.
Oh, No Fear.
Clear out a creep wave here, but I'm worried about him. He gets rocketed. They don't have vision here. Not amazing warding right now from first departure. It's just pretty defensive. This ward is doing almost nothing for them, I feel, other than watching over Roche. Actually, they turn it around. Lubby takes a big sonic wave to the face. Scripted, he is silenced out with that Orchid. They don't... Yeah, this is what I was worried about. The relocate comes out again, and 2 quick kills for Dog and Miracle here as well, with Hana just continuing to spam out his abilities. And this is the problem for TnC. You'd think that this Nyx Assassin's Link would, and plus the Queen of Pain, would just let them quickly win fights, but the ability of Miracle and Dog to just reinforce with that big, tiny damage, that's actually, with this tower, once he gets this tower killed, this is Aghanims. He's hit Aghanims. And that's a pretty big, that's a huge purchase for him. That's so important against Lone Dog. They actually they almost TP. Okay, Hana's here. He's gonna put down the March of the Machines. Just prevent Lone Dog from taking this tower. I don't think he actually can. Maybe he can get the deny. But it really about to kill Oh! Serious error. They get the tier 1 tower, but it's not worth losing the Phantom Lancer that quickly, I feel.
You gotta be kidding me. Like, that was not something I thought that was gonna happen. That was a shock to me, just because of how quickly Lone Dog died to just the laser
damage,
and a little bit of creep aggro.
His Phantom, like, usually the reason Phantom Lancer lives so long against something like that is because he actually secretly takes, like, no damage from nukes because of his magic resist on his ultimate. But pure damage don't give no hoots.
But this Ags is a huge, huge problem for TnC. Not only does it give Miracle absurd amounts of tank, because it does, not only does it give him a cleave, which makes Lone Dog a sad, sad cat man, but it also gives him that excellent demolish.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is devastating.
Definitely. The hitting that good axe timing is critical for Tiny, and I feel like Miracle has done a fantastic job so far. Has he even died? This is the main thing. This 3 versus 3 lane, sure the supports died, sure like it didn't go that well, but Tiny never died. Miracle's 5-0-4. He's actually been part of almost every fight. A big part of that's relocate too. Dog has had a great game, but still, I mean, first departure, very very good play with the heroes that they assembled. The other thing is, of course, I want to talk about the gem on IO real quick. Do you have any insight about this gem? I think it's mostly Nyx Assassin. I guess also counter warning.
It's for Nyx Assassin, it's for counter warding. You know, a lot of Southeast Asian teams really love their gems for counter warding, and on top of that, it's for the Phantom Lancer, so that they can really gank all of the invisible units that TnC have. So
that's a good point for PL. Once you've relocated onto him, he's going to doppel-walk away. So actually, yeah, I think it's actually mostly for PL, because Nyx is going to Vendetta in, and there's almost not that much you can do about it, because at this point he has Blink Dagger. But getting the PL is critical. You're totally right. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Oh, Hannah.
Wow, Lone Dog feels pretty good about this. Okay.
Radiant's middle tower
Tinker
is
just
under
gets the
attack.
heck out. Hana realizes that there's probably people in the back of Lone Dog, otherwise he wouldn't be going for a 1v1 fight, considering how poorly the last one went for him.
It's like Hannah's just following Lone Dog around. He puts to the top lane, drops a couple of marches just for her.
I mean, it clears out illusions right quick, and Miracle, meanwhile, just continues to get farm. He is pretty much caught up in terms of last hits. When you look at the GPM, actually, Miracle's the top on the map, and we've reached the point at which Dog starts leveling Overcharge. So, pretty good levels on this Wisp, actually. Level 10's not bad at all. He's got the gem, only tier 1 boots, unfortunately, but he does have the Urn of Shadows. Do they have mech? They do, right, they've had it unscripted for a while. Yeah. It makes, even though mech is so good on Wisp, the odds of Wisp getting farm and getting that mechanism within like 10 minutes of the Darkseer, it's better to have it for those 10 extra minutes than to just try to get it on the Wisp.
I completely agree, but this is why I nominate Wisp for solo mid positions all the time.
I would not have favored Wisp in this game for solo mid.
Oh no, Hugh would have done very poorly against Nyx. But that is the case against most heroes against Nyx, and it doesn't help that Wisp literally has some of the worst acros in the game.
Right. They are extremely poor. TnC, they're going to attempt to gank. Are they smoked? No, they're not. And actually, first step, I scolded their wards earlier, but they've gotten a lot better. They have quite a good idea of what's going on in this half of the map, which is the half that they're trying to play on. The other half is just sort of deal with Phantom Lancer every so often, but this half is like the playground, basically. I wonder if we won't see them try for a Roshan at some point, too. I feel like it would be a big addition to Miracle's toolkit.
If they do manage to get a Roshan onto Tiny, that's actually completely devastating for TnC. It's going to make it very hard for them to make it out of these fights alive, just because you have to kill Miracle. You really do. In these fights, he puts out so much damage of both kinds that if you don't try to kill him quickly, you lose. And if you can't, you lose.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It looks like Mantis style. I think he just picked up Ult Orb. No, he just picked up Yasha. Yeah, this makes perfect sense. I love this Mantis style. It's so good for Tiny. And honestly, first departure, I want to talk about the levels real quick. Their 3 core heroes are all leveled above where TnC are, and this is problematic for TnC, the team that, other than Lone Dog, really wants that level advantage to just oppress first departure. They were able to do so early, like they were just sort of wandering around and getting kills and being obnoxious and blinking in with Nyx, and I feel like now they sort of can't do it. Huh, Ogre Club for Miracle, is this S&Y?
No, I think we're seeing well, it might be S&Y, but personally I think it's going to be a casual Yasha into a BKB.
Okay, yeah. Casual Yasha to BKB actually makes a lot of sense. It's great against Rubik, Nyx, Coddle, and Queen of Pain. Okay. I know, the more I think about this, the more I like it. No fear, he just can't quite find the initiation. He blinks and it's not far enough. He almost needed the haste rune, too. That's too bad. Hana just trucking out of the lane with Lone Dog again.
Honestly, I don't think he would have been able to get the kill with just a 2.7 second stun, even with a little bit of support following up behind him.
It's just a lot of support. I mean, it was 4 people.
Miracle is too tanky, though. We're looking at 11 charges on the magic stick, 2,000 health, and a mostly magic damage lineup.
Sure. He has a lot of health. It's true.
There isn't a lot of like fallout damage after the burst goes. You know, it's like 700. Maybe
especially
like,
once he gets that BKB. I mean, First Departure are going to feel really good about their possibility of just pushing in and doing a lot of damage. Because Tiny's, the Aghanim Scepter, like, it's not just that it gives you AoE, it also gives you huge pushing ability. Like, you do a ton of damage to towers.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best part about that whole tower pushing thing is that it does go, in fact, to your Manta Illusion stat bonus. So, he is pretty phenomenal at pushing. Yeah, it is a casual BKB.
Wow, still no mechanism even attempted. Tushy just picking up more bracers to try to stay alive in these fights. They are smoked in, so 4-man gang squad with PL actually very nearby, so they can, if this becomes a team fight, they can sort of take it. But unfortunately, they still just can't find the positioning. Disruption on the field, it looks like just a defensive on Lubby. He's going to want to use that next one on Lone Dock, I feel like. But First Departure, they push away TnC, and they're not quite able to get in once again. Unfortunately, TnC turned away. They attempted an all-team smoke, even popped off the haste rune, or maybe it timed out. But they can't find the space. They can't find the initiation that they like.
One of the problems is actually for TnC, they have the Phantom Lancer, but he's going to lose to the Tiny in the Ultra Laking. It's actually a huge problem. And that's a big problem because Departure have a stronger turtling lineup than what TnC are packing themselves. And on top of that, they can't really just turtle because Departure can just push 2 lanes at a time, and worst comes to worst, Tiny ganks one and kills them, and then hits the tower because he does so much damage.
Absolutely, and the fact that they're actually farming up scripted pretty well is also significant. He has this Pipe of Insight. This is a big deal to a team that, other than Phantom Lancer, delivers all of its damage magical. Like, this is going to mean that TnC just deals far, far less damage of any sort.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's going to go, I think he's probably going to go Shiva's next, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know about that on Darkseer. I feel like he should. There's only one person that it really would be any effective on, and that's Phantom Lancer. And with his insane agility, growth, it doesn't feel like it'd be as significant.
Well, here's the thing.
AC.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say AC, but that's something Tiny should build.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
It's not even so much the slow. I mean, the movement speed slow is pretty decent, but it's not even the attack speed slow so much as it means it's more AoE damage. I feel like with just a couple, it'll reduce the number of tiny swings required to clear out those illusions by just that crucial, like, 1 or 2, so they can focus on other things.
I don't know, I feel like Vlad's might be a little bit better use of their
Vlad's
time
would be
and
good.
money.
Vlad's would be great for them.
You know, as much as I shit on Vlad's, Tiny loves the Vlads.
Oh no, Lone Dock completely caught out. They got the gem. Vacuum back, and he's going to get picked off. Easy kill for First Departure there.
Anyways, I was saying Vlad's because the damage aura of like 12 or whatever % applies to all of Miracle's damage.
Yeah. No, I like Vlad's. I like Vlad's a lot more than my idea. My idea was bad. Vlad's is good. They are going to just go for this Roshan, and I don't know what TnC can do about it. They've got buyback, but they're not going to want to use buyback on Lone Dock here. But maybe it's wise, honestly. I think they know that they're probably, I mean, they obviously know they've got a ward here. It can see these guys suspiciously standing around near the Roche pit. So they know, but the thing is they can't do much. Yeah, they ping. They're like, are we doing something here? Tinker, meanwhile, just continuing to sort of annoy them, push out the lanes, while Tiny and Miracle and Dog are just, with a little help from Scripted, are just bringing this Roshan down. This is an incredibly slow Roshan, so TnC have all the time in the world to think, did we make a bad choice or not? But there we go. Aegis up on Miracle. He's got his BKB. He's got 1,600 gold on top of it. I expect to see him finish out that Manta style and just get scarier and scarier and scarier.
Yeah, and the problem is once he picks up that Manta style, he can basically pull an anti-mage. He can literally just send illusions to push things for him. And he can sit back nice and safe, really. So it's really dangerous, especially because tiny illusions do deal quite a lot of damage because he has such high regular damage thanks to his grow.
No fear. He builds this Staff of Wizardry. So this could be a Force Staff, but do you think it's the Dagon? Because he does have most of it. But is a Dagon good in this game?
No.
Okay.
But he's gonna do it anyways. Like, I'm gonna be absolutely honest. It's not gonna, unless your goal is to exclusively pick off Hannah, you are not gonna do much with Dagon this game.
I guess picking off Tinker is useful, but
if that's your goal, eventually Tinker's gonna have enough health that it doesn't matter.
Right. Right.
Because Tinker can actually farm.
I'm so concerned for TnC, Elpress. Like, they seem to, right now, I wouldn't call them checkmated, but they just can't get anything going. Like, this Blink Dagger on the Nyx Assassin should have gotten them so many more kills than they did, and I feel like Bonjour Lay hasn't really been able to find what he needs either. Like, his farm is great. He's actually farming better than Thenwazar. Here's a lift on Miracle. They might try to make something happen, but he just stands there. He just keeps hitting. Orchid actually comes out in a defensive disruption. Oh, these tiny illusions will be huge. Oh, that vacuum. So painful. Bonjour Lay forced to pop up his BKB just to escape from this in any possible way. Oh, this Miracle. He's huge. He still has BKB time. He's just whacking the tower. Still has that Aegis. Blinding Light will help a little bit. Actually, Pipe popped off possibly a little bit early. Lone Dog throws out that Spirit Lance, but the Fortify is up, the Fortify is down, and Miracle still whacking away. Still chunking down that tower. Overcharge up on him. TnC are on a timer, and it is beating fast. Their heartbeats have to be beating pretty fast too, because it looks like, there they go, they get the Aegis, Dog takes a ton of damage, he just has his magic wand, he's actually out of urn charges, and so we might see Departure pull back. They actually don't, oh, there we go, Miracle's back on the racks, he's chunking it down, smack, smack, they do stun him, there goes the illusionary wall. It's not just the first illusionary wall we've even seen this game, just diffusing the possibility of TnC trying to come in here. No Fear gets picked off by Lubby, actually, somehow, and they take the melee racks, and they get out. Departure, the siege, the tiny, it's like a battering ram just knocking down the castle of your base.
Top barracks are
Yeah, that's honestly probably a worst case situation for TnC. They lost the racks. They're not going to win the ultra late game just because of the nature of Tiny. And honestly, I would be so amused if later Tiny decides to build, instead of the usual Mjolnir orb, he goes for the Desolator for more tower pushing action.
Ah, that's so overkill. He's not going to do that. It's completely overkill. He already blew
I think that makes him hit towers for like 200 damage a swing.
He hits them for so much already. It's fine. Like, I don't think that would I would be, in the words of gods, disgusted if that happened.
Disgusted by a glorious Desolator,
yes,
Tiny.
Just totally disgusted.
You know, I think it would be really cool if Tiny's tree glue red when he has a Desolator.
That'd be legit. That would be legit.
And or cover in lightning with Mjolnir.
Oh, actually, they might finally get a pick off here. No Fear. The Orchid comes out. Bonjour Late doing a lot of damage. Scripted, but he's so freaking tanky. Here comes the relocate. Actually, it's just Dog. Where's Miracle? I guess he's just trying to bail out Scripted here. Here comes Hana. This is turning all the way around, and this is the problem for TnC. You've got this Nyx Assassin Queen of Pain, and you can't even find one kill. One lousy kill, and you can't get it. It's not that they're playing badly, it's that at this point they just find themselves completely stymied. I mean, look at the levels. This is a level 16 Queen of Pain, and Nyx Assassin, it's only level 13, and he was solo mid. Meanwhile, Miracle, he doesn't care what else is going on. He's just beating the towers. Actually, he might pay for this. He's pretty low. One more, actually, Phantom Lancer walks right through this. Actually, it's a stolen wall. Miracle is BKB'd. Can he make it out of this? He's got max movement speed. Oh no! He turns around and destroys Aaron. He doesn't care. He's walking over. I think they have him. They got the diffusal. Oh no! He almost gets Tushy with the bleak, man. Bleak. But they do pick off Miracle. He's forced to buy back. The problem is after buyback, he still has 3,000 gold. And actually, this tower, 4 HP. I think Hana can just auto-attack this tower if he feels like it, which apparently he doesn't. But this middle tower is in a lot of trouble here. And Miracle, he's walking back up. The thing about Tiny is once he hits Yasha, Phase Boots, Drum, and his ult, he moves so damn fast. He has max movement speeding. Oh, I'll be in a bit of trouble from Bonjour Late here. They finally find the kill. The levels on this Nyx are still just so bad compared to the field right now. He just can't find anything. Bonjour Late, Hana is just locking him down. He's got that Scythe of Vice. Lone Dock is sheeped as well. The Bonjour Late trying to make something happen in the back. He finally picks off Dog on Io. The gem is on the ground, but unfortunately Queen of Pain will drop as well. Pinged out by Io. Looks like Scripted's going to walk over, drop his wand, and pick this up. Yep, that's what happened there. And Miracle's back in. He's got his cuirass complete. He's decided not to go Mantis Style. He just wants that extra attack speed, that extra D-armor and armor. Tushy's down. He's going to blow up Aaron. You as a support can just not live against this Tiny. You will die in 2-3 hits. Clears out the creep wave, 2 hits, clears out the tower, maybe 5 hits. Lone Doc desperately trying to build up a Phantom Lancer army because one Phantom Lancer alone is not going to do anything against this Tiny. You need an army. He can't find the army. Miracle is just clearing out this tower way too quick. One paltry illusion stands up against the enormous rock, and it falls as quickly as it came. There's the 4th Rax. They're going to go for the Megas. This will probably seal the deal. And first departure, resurrecting this IO Tiny. We haven't seen this in ages. We've seen Tinies, but not really that much with the IO accompaniment, and we just got reminded of how good this can be. Finally, a nice Impale hitting 3, but they just can't defend this. Even with Bonjour Lay, I'm not sure if they can. His Manta is done. His Cuirass is done. TnC will GG out, and unfortunately, that'll be the end of TnC in this tournament. They put together some really excellent games, but in the end, first departure, just with the return of Miracle, that excellent, excellent carry player, he played so conservatively and well early on, and then so loose and just damaging later on, just like knowing exactly what to do at each point in the game.
Absolutely. I think this game really did pivot around Miracle's play in particular. It was a fantastic Tiny pick. They knew exactly that Tiny was going to be the hero that was going to make them win this game, and they were right. This was really the hero, and frankly, it's not just his ganking prowess, which is, as a hero, fantastic. It's also the pushing power, the AoE damage, everything about Tiny makes him strong in prolonged fights.
And the thing is, he was so good in that. The decision to Bottle Crow early on was so consequential because it gave him the health regen from that endless harassment of the Spirit Lance from Phantom Lancer, and it messed up TnC's combat math because they kept trying to get kills, and then they were like, oh right, Avalanche cost does a crap ton of damage. So even with Shadow Demon Wisp, Shadow Demon IO, which is not the strongest of defensive tri-lanes, First Departure managed to turn it around on TnC an alarmingly large number of times. That and their warding was so good. No Fear was not able to rotate over and get kills on the top. When he got kills, it was either on Hana and the Tinker, or he would rotate over to the bottom for scripted. But he actually didn't pressure that tri-lane too much. So Dog found good levels on the IO, and just the relocates were incredibly on point as well. Miracle just jumping into fights. I feel like TnC, they had a good game plan here, and honestly, it's almost as if because these teams aren't facing IO that much, they're just not as adept at dealing with it quite as well, because it always seemed like TnC's calculations for whether they could win a fight were completely messed up by the IO Tiny. Like, there were so many fights that they would have won by a lot, and then Miracle comes in and just turns it all around.
Absolutely. It seems like TnC were trying to really do their best to do skirmish engagements, 2v2, 3v3s, not trying to force a big team fight. The problem is, Wisp Tiny doesn't care about your plans to avoid big team fights.
Right.
He will do whatever he feels like. But that said, really a 6-slot of Tiny is tough to deal with, and there's a reason why Dignitas do favor the Tiny so much. It is one of their core heroes on AoE, and it's because against the current popular carries, you're talking about the Life Sealers, the Phantom Lancers, the Gyrocopters, Tiny's actually good against all 3 of them. Less the Life Sealer, but that's only, it's a weird engagement because Tiny does so much burst damage, and Life Sealer absolutely despises burst physical damage. So
I mean, the main thing with Tiny is just he is a hard carry. Like, he's not a semi-carry that can get really strong early. He just isn't. Like the Gyrocopter, like Lifestealer. In fact, the more you build your Tiny to actually be effective earlier, the less you can actually carry with him. Like, if you build him for like tons of mana so he can actually use spam up his abilities, then you're building exactly the wrong items for everything else. So, like Blink Dagger, not part of the core Tiny carry build. Arcane Boots, not part of the core Tiny carry build. So he is a hard carry, and I think there's a good reason we don't see him more, which is that, like, it's just like any hard carry. Like, sometimes your Faceless Void or your Anti-Mage just never hits his Battle Fury. Sometimes your Tiny never hits his Aghanim Scepter. We've even seen that in this tournament. I don't know if you caught the Aurochs game where Massacre was on the Tiny, but there was just such pressure coming out from the aggressive tri-lane that, like, Massacre never got his Aghanims in, like, a 30-minute game. And if that doesn't happen, then Tiny's in deep shit, basically.
Yeah, it's hard for Tiny to really come back without its Scepter because, you know, most farming hard carries usually pick up that Battle Fury. Tiny gets so much out of his Ags that he really needs the Ags. And when he can't get it, he falls behind, and he ultimately loses a long game because of it. The Ags really being his primary, quote, carrying mechanic because of that ridiculous cleave. And honestly, one of my favorite things to do and get on Tiny is like if you find a DD rune, you have basically won the game. Because if you run into the enemy base, you'll start 3-shotting racks and 2-shotting towers because you hit for 800 damage.
Yep, absolutely. So that will be it. That first departure takes it over TnC. I actually probably would have slightly favored TnC for this match, but they didn't quite pull it together. First departure playing very, very well. That will advance them to the second round of the losers bracket. And doing extremely well so far, looking quite hot after making it through those tiebreakers. They will be going up against the loser of the first winners bracket match. So, let me quickly do thanks and shoutouts, and then I'll talk to you guys about what's next. This is the Netolic Raid Call Pro League East Division Playoffs. I hope you guys enjoyed our games today. I think we're already seeing some more competitive matchups than I think some of our group stages were. So that's always very, very exciting. We'll have some absolutely great matchups coming up for you as well as we move through the playoffs. You can find a playoff schedule on the official tournament website. That is netolic-raidcall.com, Netolic-raidcall.com. That will have all the rules, the schedule, the bracket, all that good stuff. Thank you so much to anybody who picked up a tournament ticket and is watching this on Dota TV. We really appreciate it. I hope that anybody watching was more happy with my camera control this game. It was slightly less abhorrent than it was in the last game. Those watching on Twitch TV, we also really appreciate you. This is, of course, the official English stream for this tournament, Netolic TV. There are additionally other English language streams. I think Dota Beyond are covering a lot of the Eastern Division, though not too much of the Western Division. And then, of course, Rapture Gaming, GoDota.cn, a lot of multilingual coverage for this tournament, which is always fantastic. It's good for people to be able to hear this in their native language. You can find a full list of streams on the tournament website. As for your casters today, I'm Vikramond. This is El Presidente. Do you have any shoutouts?
No, not really. Not today.
You never do. You never
no,
do.
I made a new Twitch account because my last one had too long of a name. So that like.
So what's your new Twitch?
It went from like El Presidente Gaming, which is like freaking ridiculous. We're talking like 3 underscores to just El Pres Dota because that fits.
El Pres Dota. So ELPRESDOTA, folks, to check out more of El Pres.
I haven't done any of the formatting on my Twitch channel
to check
yet.
out no more of El Presidente's casting. And I am Vikramond, VYKROMOND. Sorry, go ahead.
That's because all my casting has been this with you.
That's true. That has been pretty much all of it. But anyway, I'm Vikramond, Vikramond.com, VYKROMOND. Also Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, whatever your preference is, you can follow me there if you're interested in this. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me talk about what's coming up. So, we have, later today, the West Division Losers Bracket Round 1, Fnatic NA versus Root Gaming, and Pain Gaming versus Shipwrights, I think. Yeah. And are you going to be around for that, by the way?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So you'll have the two of us up for that. And then the next games after that, including the Eastern Division, will be on the 13th of April. So 3 days from now is day 1 of Winners Bracket play. We will see some amazing games as well. Winners Bracket is all best of 3, folks. So we're going to see some pretty excellent series. Who is actually playing on the 13th, Elprez? Do you remember?
On the 13th.
It's the non-VG game. So it's Orange versus MUFC, I think.
Yes, Orange versus MUFC.
Oh, man, that's going to be a great game.
For the West game, it will be Arctic versus Phoenix.
Yeah, so those are 2 great games on the 13th. Same times, in the morning, American time, in the evening, Singapore, Hong Kong time for the East games, and vice versa, in the evening American time, and in the morning, Eastern time for the West games. So those will be fantastic matches, absolutely. Orange MUFC, I feel like it's less of a rivalry than... People want to make it a rivalry just because of the whole winter angle, but I think the teams are actually more or less friendly. But 2 fantastic Southeast Asian teams going to be going off against each other. Both teams quite hot in competition right now, especially Orange. I mean, they've been taking down some huge teams. So we'll be very excited for those matches. But anyway, guys, so later today, I'll put the schedule up on the stream, and then the 13th of April are your next fixtures. We're very excited to be able to see the rest of this tournament with you guys. Some great games so far, and hopefully more along the way. Thanks, and good night.